Hey, good afternoon. Great verse here. It's a beautiful thing. Get this out of the way. All right, it's getting that time. The harvest is great, but the workers are few, right? Wants to employ us all at this time. It's the roundup. This is the final gathering together, no doubt about it. Pouring out His word. So He gave me this verse just this morning. Was it this morning or last night? Last night, actually. So this is beautiful. It's James 4, verse 6. First, I'll read it the way we'll see it in most of the Bibles, then take every word back, being led by His Holy Spirit mainly, but going through the lexicons. The lexicons are so important. I firmly believe God preserved His spiritual truth within the lexicons, the pictographic languages that His word was written in. Right? And using the Strong's, which gives you a much more clear understanding. So when you study His word, get a study Bible and look at the Strong's and the lexicons. The lexicons too, not just the Strong's. And but the main things the Spirit has to teach. It's a spiritual book, and only the Spirit can teach you spiritual things that are contained within it. Most of what we're being taught pertains to the flesh. It's just the way it is. All right, James 4, verse 6. But He giveth more grace. Wherefore He saith, God resisteth the proud, but giveth grace unto the humble. And that, you can get that. Yeah, He resists the proud, those that are proud, and gives more grace unto the humble, people with a humble heart. So let's take every word we can in that verse back to its origin, looking at the lexicons, being led by His Spirit, and see things a little more clearly here in the spiritual side, because there's spiritual and physical meaning to every verse. The spiritual is being played out in this physical world. There's no doubt. All right, James 4, verse 6. But moreover, God bestows a gift to one that asks, furnishing all things necessary to reach out by the words of His writing, causing those in the sea of the dead to come forth and be received as His own, by His saving care. To follow Him as their leader, returning to whom they already belong, being delivered up to have power over the natural emotions and thoughts of the mind, by God's preeminence over the pride of a created being that is derogatory to God. And derogatory is those who have strayed from the straight and narrow way of acceptable behavior and duties, going their own way, and by being led by this external form, the flesh, that powerfully affects their senses. And He does this by His goodwill and loving kindness, exerting His holy influence upon souls, turning them to Christ, who... Hey. Good. Yeah, okay, so He turns them to Christ, affects their senses by His goodwill and loving kindness, exerting His holy influence upon souls, turning them to Christ, who keeps, strengthens, and increases their faith and knowledge and affection for one another, exercising Christ-like virtues by this gift of grace and divine influence upon our hearts, by His life-giving Spirit that brings joy and liberty to be well and thrive on account of His presence throughout time, being with whosoever that has went astray and been supplied the definite article of His Holy Spirit. Answering this call. So, all the people who have answered this call by name to speak forth and tell, pouring forth His thoughts and words, giving gods and goddesses being likened unto God by His Holy Spirit, resisting ourselves that are in contrast to Him, by this substitution of a mutual agreement not to put ourselves above others, despising them or treating them with contempt, acting proud and haughty, arrogant, right? Thinking ourselves to be superior, bringing them forth into the light, becoming a new fruit to see clearly in the mind, this heavenly light of truth and its knowledge of spiritual purity, having the power of understanding, especially moral and spiritual truth, making manifest the God's thoughts, his thoughts and words, giving this gift to someone as his own to receive, so they may return to whom they already belong. Also, for Christ to keep and strengthen out of his loving kindness, to be full of joy, to rise from the ground of those who are cast down, submitting themselves humbly as a servant to him by serving others. It's what we're called to do. It's what we're called to do. Serve everybody else. Serve others. To help bring them in whatever way God deems to use us in our little realm of influence, right? To help lead others to Christ. He wants to employ us, right? The harvest is great, but the workers are few. And look at all the help wanted signs. The spiritual is being played out in the physical. No doubt about it. All right, so I got to get to work. You know, it's so busy. It's crazy. But I know it's all about to come to an end because we're about to go home. No doubt about it. All right, love and respect everybody. That's what it's all about. That's what draws people into the light. All right, God bless. Have a great day. Bye.